The darkness of the Mariana Trench is the most unexplored place on the planet. Here, at a depth of more than 7 miles, eternal darkness reigns and the pressure is enough to crush a steel structure. However, this did not stop a brave diver who decided to embark on an expedition that changed his life. In search of the unknown, he dove deeper and deeper, racing through the inky depths of the ocean to become the first person to venture so far. And then, amid the silent abyss, his light caught something unusual, something that shouldn't have been there. It wasn't a natural formation, but a man-made structure disguised as the ocean floor. As he drew closer, his heart began to beat faster and faster. The outlines resembled the entrance to a cave gaping with mystery. A persistent curiosity and a drive for discovery pushed him forward. When the diver entered, he saw something incredible, a gigantic crystal emitting an unearthly glow that filled the space around it. Even in absolute darkness, it radiated a power capable of illuminating the darkest corners. The crystal emanated something more than just light. It was an energy that defied explanation. Before him unfolded a secret capable of overturning everything we know about our world. But this was only the beginning. After all, who knows what mysteries this crystal holds and why it ended up here, at the deepest point on Earth? What began as a routine dive turned into a discovery that simply couldn't be ignored. But what was he about to discover in the depths of this mysterious trench? The crystal's light was astonishing. Each of its facets reflected and refracted the rays, creating the illusion of a starry sky inside the underwater cave. The diver, enveloped in a cocoon of bright radiance, felt a strange sense of calm. It seemed that the crystal's energy not only illuminated the space, but also interacted with his thoughts, evoking inexplicable sensations. It was like a quiet whisper in his mind, as if someone or something was trying to make contact. But that couldn't be possible, right? While he tried to make sense of his own feelings, his attention was drawn to unusual symbols carved into the walls around the crystal. They looked completely alien to nature, and probably did not belong to any known civilization. It was as if someone had left a message that could explain the origin of the crystal. But it was impossible to read. These symbols were like an encrypted message, a riddle yet to be solved. The diver took a step closer, feeling the energy envelop him like an invisible veil. Suddenly, lines beneath his feet lit up, connecting the crystal to the rest of the cave. It looked like a network branching out in all directions, like the nerves of a giant creature hiding the deepest secrets. This structure seemed to sustain the life of this underwater world, existing apart from the reality known to humanity. In that very moment, he realized that the crystal was more than just a discovery. Perhaps it was part of something much greater, connected not only to our planet, but to other worlds as well. As he followed the cave's surrounding walls, the diver noticed that some of the symbols began to glow in sync with his movements. Perhaps this was connected to the energy of the crystal, which somehow activated these mysterious signs. This discovery sparked his imagination. Perhaps these symbols were not just decorations, but a key to understanding the mystery hidden here. Discovering a small crevice in the wall, he carefully reached out his hand to feel the cool surface. His fingers found indentations that resembled ancient script. What if these markings were an ancient language, preserving messages from a long-forgotten world? Meanwhile, the crystal continued to radiate a power that seemed to penetrate to the very depths of his being, awakening memories and images he had never known. These fragments, like pieces of a mosaic, began to form a bigger picture, suggesting that the crystal might contain a history humanity had never even suspected. Perhaps this mysterious artifact had unlocked access to knowledge that predated all modern cultures and civilizations. Suddenly, he noticed unusual changes in the very atmosphere of the cave. The air grew heavier, and there was a sense of a deep connection between the crystal and this ancient structure. Each touch of the crystal brought him back to the thought that this could be a portal to something greater than just an encounter with the extraterrestrial. Here, 7 miles deep, he held in his hands the key to mysteries that could overturn his understanding of the Earth, humanity, and perhaps the entire universe. However, it remained to be discovered who had created this magnificent find and why it had been left here, in the heart of the ocean. When the diver realized that this crystal was closely connected to the energy network, his astonishment turned into cautious investigation. He discovered that the crystal changed depending on his movements, as if it were responding to his presence. Each touch triggered flashes of light and a tremor that spread along the walls of the cave. He noticed a concentration of energy that seemed to reinforce the structure, maintaining its viability in the harsh conditions of the trench. This discovery only raised more questions. What kind of power was embedded in this crystal, and what consequences might its awakening bring? The diver understood that this discovery could change the very nature of our existence. If the crystal's energy could truly affect the structures around it, what else might it be capable of? Perhaps this discovery is not just a key to the knowledge of the past, but also a source of incredible power that could be used in our present. As he continued to explore the cave, he noticed that some of the glowing lines began to disappear, leaving traces of heat behind. This was not just a phenomenon, but a process that could mean a change to the entire structure around it. He began recording his observations, realizing that this might be his only chance to capture all the details of this mysterious place. But as soon as he realized the significance of the data, the tension only grew stronger. The crystal continued to emit powerful energy pulses which could be either a gift or a threat. Beyond these walls lay the unknown, and the diver understood that the responsibility for this discovery now rested on his shoulders. It was up to him to decide how to use the knowledge and energy that the crystal had revealed to him. But while he remained in this cave, the world around him seemed distant, like a remote reflection of his consciousness, lost in the deepest waters. The secret uncovered in this place could change the course of history, but it remained to be seen how to use it properly for the good of humanity. As he delved deeper into this mysterious cave, the diver couldn't help but notice the astonishing changes around him. With every step he took, the space seemed to come alive as if he were touching a network woven from lines of energy. These lines permeated the cave like vessels, nourishing an unknown life from within. He carefully observed them, trying to understand how they were connected to the crystal. The journey deeper into the cave led to new discoveries. Beneath a layer of mysterious light, doors were hidden, as if leading to other parts of a concealed world. Some of the doors were sealed, covered with a layer of centuries-old silt. It seemed as if they guarded a secret long forgotten by time. The diver noticed that the walls near these doors were adorned with bas-reliefs depicting incredible scenes from the life of an unknown civilization. Perhaps these images were the key to understanding who created this underwater structure and what the meaning of their message was. As he studied these ancient images, his attention was drawn by an unusual sound. It was like a barely perceptible low hum coming from the depths of the cave. Intrigued, he followed the sound and soon discovered its source: massive gates, closed but trembling with internal energy. Every attempt to approach caused a resonance, as if the crystal was responding to his presence, trying to draw his attention to this part of the cave. Before him lay the opportunity to unravel yet another mystery of this underwater world. However, questions continued to trouble him. What was hidden behind these gates? The diver suspected that this discovery might be only the beginning of an incredible journey. His find in the Mariana Trench had revealed only the tip of the iceberg, which was still waiting for its turn to be uncovered. He understood that each new discovery brought him closer to solving the mystery, but at the same time made him realize that things were not as simple and safe as they had seemed at first. The diver peered intently into the portal, which seemed to pulse in time with his heartbeat. Inside him grew the feeling that the discovered crystal and the cave concealed knowledge about our planet's past that we had never even suspected. It was like discovering an ancient library, where every book holds secrets capable of changing our understanding of human history. He took a step forward, and the light of the crystal seemed to show him the way. Carefully studying the bas-reliefs, he noticed among the images incredible scenes, cities suspended in the air, creatures with features unknown to him. All of this was recorded here as evidence of the existence of another form of life. He realized that he was on the verge of discovering the truth about the origin of the Earth and perhaps of humanity itself. And it was the crystal that could be the key to this understanding. As he continued to move forward, he felt an energy surrounding him, helping him decipher the mysterious symbols. With every step he took, new aspects of this ancient civilization were revealed, and he eagerly anticipated what would come next. However, one thing was clear: their knowledge of the universe surpassed everything known to mankind. Perhaps the mysterious crystal was not just a source of energy, but a kind of archive, preserving the memory of worlds long vanished. Each discovery he made in this highly volatile space only deepened his questions. How did this crystal end up here at the bottom of the Mariana Trench? Who placed it here and for what purpose? The diver realized that his discovery was something more than just a find. It was a challenge to time and history, one that demanded the boldest decisions. Before the dive ended, he still had to figure out how to use the knowledge he had uncovered so that it wouldn't fall into the wrong hands. Amidst the torrent of thoughts, the diver couldn't shake the feeling that his discovery was a link to long-lost civilizations. His mind, electrified by the crystal's energy, was filled with images reminiscent of flashbacks, as if he were browsing through archives of the planet's past. He saw visions of a world where humans live side by side with beings possessing technologies far beyond our own. These beings, it seemed, were the creators of the crystal, using it as a repository of knowledge and power. With every step he took, the cave seemed to gain new strength. The crystal, like a portal, revealed to him scenes from the past, arranged in chronological order. He saw images of the construction of gigantic structures, interactions with the energies of the universe, and incredible discoveries that could have revolutionized modern science. However, what was most astonishing was the sense that humans and these mysterious beings were, in essence, connected. Perhaps it was thanks to such artifacts that humanity received its first impetus for development, but then the memory of them was lost. Soon he noticed a small niche in the cave wall, hidden beneath the silt. From it stretched glowing threads, serving as a kind of microscopic pathway leading deeper inside. It seemed as if they were pointing to the location of something even more important than the crystal itself. Driven by a thirst for discovery, the diver carefully followed this network. He managed to find a small chamber, hidden from prying eyes. It was filled with artifacts, among which there might be the key to unraveling the mystery. However, he was running out of time. The crystal's energy began to alter the cave's atmosphere, as if foreshadowing some kind of change. He had to make a decision, stay and continue his research, or return with what he had already found. Realizing that unexpected consequences might lie ahead, he knew that even a small fragment of information could prove crucial for the future. His paramount task was to carefully bring this profound knowledge to the entire world, without ever allowing the powerful portal to tragically fall into the dangerous hands of those who might maliciously use this crucial knowledge to humanity's ultimate detriment and downfall. The whole world held its breath when news of the Mariana Trench crystal made headlines. This discovery promised to revolutionize scientific understanding, but it also sparked a dangerous race for power. The diver, acting wisely, decided that his main duty was to protect this find from ill intentions. However, the task was far from easy. As soon as information about the crystal spread, the underwater cave became the focus of intense attention. Expeditions and special services began devising strategies to seize it. As the pressure mounted, the diver assembled a small team of scientists to study the crystal, making sure it didn't fall into the hands of those who might use it for evil. They devised a plan to safely transport the crystal to a secret location on land, where it could be studied without the risk of explosion or other catastrophic consequences. A vaccine against a global catastrophe could only be found through observation and analysis. The scientific discoveries that the crystal could provide promised breakthroughs in fields such as energy, health, and even methods of interstellar travel. However, the crystal also posed a danger, as its power could be used for military purposes. The team focused on understanding the mechanism of the crystal's action and its potential impact on the planet. The research was in full swing, and the initial results showed that the crystal's energy could indeed be used for unprecedented progress. Against this backdrop, the international community began negotiations regarding the fate of the mysterious artifact. World leaders discussed the creation of a transnational committee to oversee its study and use the discovery as an opportunity to strengthen peaceful relations. The diver who left behind his discovery knew that his find had marked the beginning of a new era for humanity. Now the hope that the crystal would be used for the common good was born in the hearts of millions. But whether humanity would be able to keep this power under control or if it would become a catalyst for change remained to be seen.